Hey, good Wednesday evening, everyone. Meteorologist Doug Hetty. Here's your long-range forecast. So, of course, I've been launching Doug Hetty Weather, new graphic system radar. I haven't even had a chance to really play with the radar because we haven't had anything. But I'm going to do different segments. So, any ideas that you guys have, we're going to do a long-range segment probably twice a week, and then maybe an ag report. I was kind of thinking of possibly like, maybe travel forecast when we get a little bit closer to the holidays. So all that stuff. So any ideas you have, let me know and we'll knock those out. Also, we're going to start putting on sponsors here in the next couple months. So we're going to have advertisers on the Weather Center, the radar, the Futurecast, the long range forecast, the weather app. Of course, as we go through the next couple months. Just wanted to give you a little update. All right, so we're in the cycling weather pattern. We've been in it now for about 5 weeks. We're in it until next October. This is a pattern Gary Lezak and I, we've been working on the LRC really since, 90s. I mean, a long time. We learn a little bit more each year. We're trying to figure out this year's cycle length. Last year was 41, a shorter one. This is going to be at least decently longer, but we'll get it narrowed down over the next couple weeks. But we have a La Nina influence. One thing I do not like this northwest flow. And when I say I don't like it, what I mean is I like weather action. I don't like La Nina years. Looks like we'll stay in La Nina through the winter and then start to come out of it as we get into the spring months. But this persistent ridging is really starting to make me mad because it's hard to get storm systems in here. All right, so let's go through time. So we're going to go into this weekend. Look at this. So here's a weak little system that looked like a couple days ago would give us some pretty good rain, but this ridge, and you can still see it here, it really just kind of wipes it out and it makes this weak little wave go over that ridge. And that's going to be a problem as we go through the winter into the spring, meaning it's going to be a little harder to get some big systems in here. But it also means this persistent ridge, because we're in the same pattern next summer, is also going to be a problem for heat and also drought. We're not going to worry about that. Now, by the middle of next week, a week away, we start to get a storm system dipping the western third of the country. A chunk of energy kicks out on Friday, and with that, that will give us showers and thunderstorms. Look at the cold air starting to build. Now we see another storm system start to dip, so we are right before Thanksgiving. And we'll watch this over the next couple weeks to see if we get a storm system out here for traveling and cool down as we go into Friday, Black Friday, the 28th. All right, let me walk you through time. So by Sunday, we cool down a little bit. Let's go through next week. Here's that weak system that I said is going to have a hard time really getting going. As we go through next week, a lot of clouds, a little bit cooler. Here's Wednesday. Here's wet system number 1. Showers, maybe some thunderstorms, nothing strong, nothing severe. The second system behind it, Friday, that one could be a little bit more interesting, but also will give us chances for a little wetter system. So we have rain chances next Thursday, Friday. That system pushes east. We get into the weekend before Thanksgiving. We'll watch it and see exactly what happens with that as we go into Thanksgiving week. All right, so let's look at some other stuff here. So let me pull this up. Let's see here. Let me drag this over here. I'm going to put this in front of the 7-day. Oh, it actually works. All right, so when I say the cycling weather pattern, I want you to look at this. So here's our storm system out across the western third. This is October 1st. So I'm going to kind of go through last month, and what you're going to see is that persistent ridge, and we don't get a lot of wet systems. We get a little system in here October 7th, and then it was dry. We got a wet system around the 15th, 16th, and then 19th and 20th. But since that point in time, I see persistent cold snaps and just not a lot dropping into the Pacific Southwest. So that's why I'm a little concerned that we may get into a rain problem as we get, especially next summer. All right, let's go a little bit long range. So we're going to look at the cold air. So this is, we're well into December, where you see the white up in Canada, right in here. That is the cold Arctic air, and I don't see it letting loose anytime soon. It looks like it may want to try to let loose as we get through about the middle of December, so we want to keep our eyes on that. Remember, with Weather 2020, we have the global predictor. If we look into December, and again, we're trying to figure out the news cycle. So this is going to update over the next several weeks, but You can get your 6-month forecast. But right now, it looks kind of chilly to near average as we go through December. But look, the second half of the month gets fairly wet across the region. So we're going to do a lot more of these segments, guys. Of course, as we go through the next, several weeks. And then we'll ramp it up and I'll kind of tailor it to what exactly you guys like. All right, guys, I hope you have a great afternoon.